Chris Berryman here, coalition builder and founder of Bringing Humanity Together. Welcome to another terrific Tuesday edition of Share and Care with BHT. Of course, I'm going to be your host, uh, and I just wanted to get with you guys again today because it is going to be a great and engaging conversation. Today is going to be truly engaging and it's going to really lift you up today. So, welcome everyone to the Bringing Humanity Together live stream. This is one of three open forums under the Bringing Humanity Together umbrella where people can discuss topics related to the workplace and humanity in the workplace in a very positive and constructive way. We want to know what the issues are out there that are facing people today because it's our goal, our mission, our passion, our purpose, and I dare say our calling here at Bringing Humanity Together to create environments that people will love, not only in our workplaces, but also in our very communities because we see how interconnected they really are. And also, with Dad said, also bringing employers and employees to the table of humanity and really bringing out humanity front and center each and every single day in every way. And as always, we'll be going live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all at 2:45 Eastern Daylight Time. Please invite your friends, your family, your coworkers, anyone who really wants to truly uplift and help humanity rise today and have those great and engaging and meaningful conversations that might not only change your life, but it might change someone else's life too as well. So I always host Share and Care with BHT and Conversations for Humanity. That's our Tuesday and Wednesday show. And also, we actually have uh, on Conversation for Humanity, that's our uh, story driven platform. So if you'd like to come share your story on Conversations for Humanity, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and I will send you the Calendly link so you can come share your story on Conversation for Humanity. And then, of course, my great partner, Carla Fedigan, who is actually on vacation this week. So you will not be seeing Carla. So we'll have to say kudos to Miss Carla for taking some time off. And hopefully, maybe when she was out golfing, maybe sometime on the golf course, maybe she gets another hole in one. You never know. So again, we're so thankful and honored that each and every single one of you guys are here today. So I see we have Oneida. Hello, Oneida. How you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you.
All right, very good, very good. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
All right, and you're out of Texas, correct?
Texas.
So how long you been living in Texas?
Uh, I've been living here for 7 years.
Oh,
Hometown.
that's not bad.
Yeah.
So are you close to the Alamo?
Alabama.
The
I'm
Alamo.
sorry. Yes. I'm actually 20 minutes away.
Wow. I bet you that's a great place to see.
Well, Alamo, not really. It's kind of like a. But my calendar is really good.
All right, very good, very good, very good. So Oneida, I'm just so thankful and honored that you even taken a look into bringing humanity together. So we're so thankful and honored that you want to take this journey with us to really uplift and help humanity rise. So we're glad that you're here today talking about. Uh, this is going to the thing we'll be talking about today, and I'll put it into the chat here. Is This comes from the newsletter of Sir Richard Branson. Is how do you forge deeper partnerships and collaborations? So that's what I would like to be discussing today is how we can really forge those deeper and meaningful not only partnerships, when you think of a partnership, it's literally a relationship in and of itself, and those collaborations that come out of that. So that's what we'll be talking about today. And I will love to hear your thoughts. And like I said, this is our meet and greet time, so we'll have more people jumping on here in the next few minutes and everything like that. So, Oneida, share with the world what's your mission, passion, and purpose, and what you like to be able to see yourself doing here at Bringing Humanity Together.
Oh well, I think to be able to to share what I be able to be exposed to such a personal level. I think as a human being that will help that somebody else task and to be able to with somebody else. It's one of the greatest. I think that it. And I feel like there's like people to share more about their what's it called their to others.
All right, very good, very good. And like I said, we're just so humble and honored you even taking a look into us. We're looking for great people who really want to help humanity grow and thrive like no other time in human history because we see that humanity there, but how can we make it even better than what it once was? And it's about recognizing that not only are we all uniquely different, but also we can actually be one and the same. It's just like I get this great quote that comes from Star Wars. It really changed my life like you will never know. It is this: embrace others for their differences, for that which makes you whole. What does that what does that mean to you when you hear that, Ronaldo? What comes to your mind?
Well, to be honest, first everybody comes from different backgrounds and like different cultures. I feel distinction of and beliefs and attitudes toward that we need to embrace as if we respect our difference for being part of our community.
I just truly believe that our communities are so interconnected, far more than what we understand and realize. Because, see, I truly believe that the very same community that we live in is the very same community that we work in. It's already there. Is how can we
Yeah,
bridge that gap to such an extent that where our communities can be living and working as one to some extent? Because see, the dynamic has been for so long, Oneida, that we've been told to leave work at work and home, but more often than not, we don't really do that. We bring our work home to us, and then next thing you know, our wife or husband's going to say, "Why are you bringing work home? You're supposed to be doing it at work." But they say, "Honey, we got to get this deadline met. We got to do this. We got," and then you're like, "Why?" And I truly believe when people recognize that we are the very one and the same kind of dynamic, that we are the very same person at work than we are also at home, we really have that complex. And some people can do it. And I used to do it many years ago. I would say I only will leave work at work and that's it. I will never bring it home. But I got thinking to myself one night of the more I disassociate myself with the very work that I do, or disassociate myself to the very person who I am at home, it becomes that duality complex that you have to almost pick and choose. Which one will I be today? Will I be the great and engaging person that I am at home, or do I just keep myself kind of closed off and be something totally different when I'm at work? What's your thoughts?
mm, um, I think it's good to embrace perspective of keeping one and work be character in the long run. So I imagine myself working towards my keeping it um as same as at home and at work. I think it's a
Right,
great opportunity to see that for yourself and for your family, for the community around you.
right.
Yes.
And I truly believe that we can build a bridge to and with people in such a way, Oneida, that not only will it work in their world, it will actually work in ours if we allow that to occur. And I truly believe the next thing that comes to pass, Oneida, is the very definition of change, which is transformation. And I truly believe not only is that a gift that we can all receive and to give from, but also we will have a hand in one way, shape, or form. What's your thoughts?
I definitely agree with your statement. To be able to share and people share things that we need as partners or family members, and uh, that that thought of what with each other is going to make us even stronger being individual.
Well, absolutely. I totally agree. And that is why, like I said to you on the phone just a little bit ago, I just saw a better way to be and a better way to lead when it comes to our humanity, not only in the workplaces, but also in our very communities. Because, like I said, we're so interconnected, far more than we understand and realize. And once we tap into that very humanity that we're already a part of, we can go so far in the way of really meeting people where they are and taking them for who they are and start it from there and let things be for what they are versus what we think that they are or not and everything. And I truly believe in that. So I just truly believe in that. So so let's get right into the conversation at hand about what uh, Richard Branson brought to the table in this great newsletter about how do you forge deeper uh, uh, partnerships and collaboration, which I call them, like I said, relationships and collaborations. It can only matter which way. Um, but what he first states in here is this is what he says: as humans, we need to connect to. We need connections to thrive, meaningful relationships with family and friends to grow personally, and great professional partnerships to ignite ideas to and to make positive impact. And this is what Richard Branson said as well in their article. Uh, when I wrote this month's newsletter, I had just returned from an incredible birthday celebration on board Virgin Voyages. That's one of his cruise ships that he has, and the boat that he was actually on called the Scarlet Lady, with his family and friends, new and old. It was so touching to see people from every chapter of my life all in the same place at the same time. From Virgin Record executives who have been with us since day one, through word leaders from the elders, cherished siblings who shaped my childhood, and then now Virgin Galactic astronauts who has experienced space with me, and incredible change makers who were partner with Virgin Unite. I was reminded how my career and my life has been built upon great partnerships. And that is really telling. And I truly believe that when we truly can get everybody on board, whether like in Richard Branson's case, he actually did it on one of his cruise ships. He got everybody on board. He saw all the people that he's had a true meaningful impact from and with, from his siblings, astronauts, world leaders, friends, colleagues that had started with him on his journey in creating Virgin and being this multi-billion-dollar industry as it is. And that's what it really means, I truly believe, is when we can come together from a common cause, common purpose, common vision, common standpoint, that we can recognize all those things are there. I truly believe, Ornata, there's nothing that we cannot achieve or do, not only in our lives, but in the lives of others. Um, and I know you might be having some technical issues, Ornata, and I apologize, but we'll get you right back on here. But Ornata, what is your thoughts about what Richard Branson said in the newsletter when I just read in the first couple of paragraphs? What really caught your eye? Okay.
Having problems with my Wi-Fi at this.
Oh, that's all right. No worries, no worries. But what did you get from what Sir Richard Branson said in his part of his newsletter? What really caught your eye?
Knowledge, and what I've is the fact that uh, I, from about the communication in people. Um, um, like each of us are so that that technically different from one another is very close to understand that, and we have to. That's what I understand. It's because I had Wi-Fi connections.
Right, right. So what he brings up in the article here is he does it from a place of multiple functional dynamics. Um, he first starts off with connect with people who have different strengths and skills. The second one is stay open to different ideas, opinions, and views on life. Uh, then thirdly, break down the hierarchies and build relationships based on equality. Don't be afraid to challenge each other. Um, and those are the four things that really uh, stood out to me. So let's start with this: connect with people who have different strengths and skills. What does that look like and mean to you, Oneida?
Everyone is built differently. Everybody passions has different skills, has different talents, and is different in some way, like different somehow. That, that's what makes in that sense that everybody has contributed different to society differently.
So, Oneida, in the time that you have been working and the places you have been, do you really not only accept but also embrace not only what you bring to the table, but also what others bring to the table?
Yes, especially when I started working for the first time at a fast food restaurant. I don't know if you have in Texas. First it was a little difficult, right? Because I was 16. We barely get to know the real world, communication, and teamwork. What's it called? Like environment. Um, and think about the fact that even though my um contribute to the table even better than myself, I would like to accept that judgment and learn from them. Impacts you in a way that makes you grow as an individual and as an employee.
Right. And see, the way I view it when it comes to this dynamic about connect with people who have different strengths and skills is um, recognizing what they bring to the table already, whatever that might be, their greatest gifts and skills, maybe even their greatest strengths in relevance to their weaker strengths. Because to me, if I can accept them on a whole scale and just accept them from that premise moving forward and let everything be for what it is, then they can not only can collaborate with me, but I can collaborate with them and have those deep and meaningful conversations that not only will change their life, but it might even change my life, or even change not only the way that I work, but also the way that I view work, the way I view life, whatever that might be, and everything like that. Hello, David. How are you doing today on Terrific Tuesday? It's been a while. And yes, this is what David just said. Totally agree here. It's about partnership and working in unity with each other, but these relationships must be authentic and surround yourself with different viewpoints. And you're absolutely spot on right with that, David. Absolutely. Because if we want to create an environment in which we will love, that we all can be able to have the opportunity to love, then it's about creating that environment in such a way, again, like I said, not only does it work in their world, but also works in yours. And then when you see different viewpoints and you see different ways of being, not only can you accept them and honor them and then embrace them, but they can do the very same thing in turn with you of your viewpoints, your state of being, the way you do things. And when you can truly collaborate in that kind of dynamic, I truly believe, Oneida, there's nothing that we cannot achieve or do in any aspect of our lives. What was that? Are you on mute?
Yeah. No, wait. There you go. With you.
What's your thoughts?
Um, I, like I said, the most important be able to share and be able to, like, to bring something better for the table, and the of us has a different point of view perspective. You can benefit from that. It could work in your life, or some it's it, it is actually a gift.
So let me ask you this, Oneida. What do you think gets in our way to not have deep and meaningful relationships? What things do you think get in our way? What's your thoughts?
In your way, what do you mean by that? So with
What
that,
obstacles come up in your way that says, hey, I can not understand where Bob's coming from, or Susie, or Bill, or whatever? What are the things that really keep you from really collaborating and working together?
okay, maybe because we have the same mission, like we goal, and we what and technically what we want to reach. Same goal. I think that working together towards and when it comes to teamwork, like certain specific area, it helps by having something in common. But like you said, any obstacle, I think that the party is on what we have not seen.
Right, right. I greatly appreciate that. Hello, James. How are you doing today?
Hey, Chris, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing great on this uh, terrific Tuesday. What we're talking about today is newsletters from humanity. And the first edition of it is from none other than Richard Branson. And what we're discussing today in Richard Branson's article that he did on his newsletter is uh, in his Ask Richard series is how do you forge deeper partnerships and collaborations? And one of the first points that he brings up is connect with people who have different strengths and skills. So, James, how can we forge deeper partnerships and collaborations and relationships And how does that look like and mean to you?
Well, first of all, you got to understand where the person is coming from. So when I say that, understand what the person is looking to achieve. And, you know, also know what they want to build off of, and how you, whoever that is, when I say you, whoever, you know, make it so that the both of you can work off of the same fundamentals, and make it so that when you're working together with this person, you are creating a relationship with the person. You are creating a, how do I put this? You are creating a strong bond with the person. And when you create that strong bond, you are bringing yourself to the table, and you're bringing the other person to the table.
Yes, exactly. Um, and Graham, who's a good friend of bringing humanity together in the show, he says, consider that the environment already exists. Well, that is absolutely true, but what kind of environment do you actually see, or do you actually interpret? And that's a big thing. And this is what David just said. He said, I would say to a certain extent, ego and pride in not being able to be wrong holds us back at times when we must be truly vulnerable and accept we don't know everything and be able to hear other people and accept their points. You're absolutely spot on with that too, David. You really are.
100%.
And it's about, again, I truly believe about letting things be for what they are. And if
Yep.
we can let things be for what they are, and we really take things in from a true non-judgmental kind of dynamic, this is what my great friend Brian Somner has taught me in, is if we can not only recognize our bias and we kind of set it off to the side just for a brief moment and recognize what we are bringing to them and they are bringing to us, and have that deep and meaningful conversation and dialogue, that's how we can really get things not only done in business, but that's how we can truly forge a deeper and truly human connective bond, like you were just saying there, James, that's deep and meaningful and engaging. And I truly believe in that.
And also, it's like you said, Chris, things happen for us, not to us.
Exactly. Exactly. And Oneida, I got to ask you, in the way that you live your life, do you take that mindset that you look at life is happening for me and not to me?
Mm, I, um, everyone life, and that to be able to live we want to, we have to work for it. And coming to your statement, and I feel like, you know, because we live life as we want to live it, and we make our own. We decide what's the best for of it. But, uh, but I think that life is for us. We just have to the extent that we want to.
All right,
That's the
very good,
thing.
very good. So let's go
That's the
to the
thing.
next um, part of what Richard Branson got in this newsletter. He says, stay open to different ideas, opinions, and views on life. So I go to you, James. How
Okay.
do we stay open to different ideas, opinions, and view on life?
Well, this is an interesting subject because this is something that I take very seriously. Okay. if we want to expand that, we have to look at what is available to us. What do we have that's available to us? What is this life, and what is the surrounding elements behind the life? How can we incorporate the meaning of the fundamental aspects of life, if that makes any sense? The first thing we look at is we are nothing more than human beings. We are going to make mistakes. We are not perfect. We are who we are because we were we were brought to this earth to be able to say, okay, I'm going to make a mistake, I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to move on. And then you say, okay, so this person has something to bring to the table. I realize that they are more like myself. We talk about things. We might not see eye to eye. We might not agree on the same things, but that does not mean that we should overlook the boundaries of how we can incorporate something else to bring to the table with what they're saying, if that makes any sense.
It does. It does. Ornada, what's your thoughts?
I I agree with him with your statement. Mm, I, I agree with your statement, which um um I, I'm sorry, I just messed with you.
Well, I truly believe that when we allow the environment to be for what it is,
Yeah.
and we can create that with people, and like I told you, Ornata, that's when I had that epiphany moment that started this journey off here at Bringing Humanity Together, because I asked myself that the very question: should I be working with people or for people? Because working with people is totally different than working for. It's a
Yeah.
totally different dynamic. And when we wanting to create those environments to such an extent, it creates legacy, it creates purpose, it creates meaning, it creates opportunity, it creates collaboration, innovation, spontaneity. All those things are interconnected. They're all there.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we get there? Well, the best way I know how to get there, and I've done it for a number of months now because I've been really intentional in doing it. It's about listening to one another,
Mm-hmm.
learning from one another, and then leading not only myself, but have the opportunity to lead others by, again, by meeting them where they are and taking them for who they are. Because if we can do that from those simple dynamics and constructs and those foundations that are commonplace, it's almost, I tell people every day and share with people every day, it's almost like the universal truths of humanity. We all want to be seen. We all want to be heard. We all want to be loved. We all want to be appreciated. We all want those things. And those things are in our very fabric of our DNA. It's innate to us. And I truly believe in that. And so I just truly believe we have a huge opportunity to capitalize on that. And I truly believe in that. But also, this is what Sir Richard Branson brought to the table too as well, is break down hierarchies and to build relationships based on equality. Now, James, I know you got something to say on that. So, how do we break down those hierarchies and build things on a place of equality? How do we get there?
Equality is a very important aspect of life. And we are all equal regardless of whether we look at it or not, whether we choose to accept the fact that we're equal. You know, I'm a firm believer in treating others as I wish to be treated. I'm a firm believer in that saying, what goes around comes around. And when we do good for others, when we treat others as an equal to us, they in return will treat us as an equal in return. And sometimes sometimes that page is sometimes that page isn't written properly. So we write the page, we read the page, we reread it, we retype it in a how do I put it? In a another way of speaking, but we do unto others as we wish done to ourselves.
Correct. Correct.
You know,
And this is what Graham said just in response to what David Pushkin just said just a second ago. He says, David, being focused on right and wrong can limit what can be achieved. That's a good point, Graham. But also
really
think
good
about
point.
this. If we did not have a right and wrong dynamic, and what I truly believe is, like I said, just let things be, then what's going to end up shifting our perspectives in the way that we connect with others and do things with others is maybe we have to recognize maybe what they do works best for them. And I totally get that. And but there's some things in our lives that we can all agree to that are in that kind of right way, wrong way kind of dynamic. It's just like if we want to trust somebody, what do we really want in our lives? We want people not to lie to us. We want people to
Exactly.
be honest and lead with their integrity and lead with their character, because we don't want someone to come into our midst, whether it be working or otherwise, to say one thing but yet do another. And that goes into business like nobody's business. Because I've seen it. The people will say one thing but yet completely do the total opposite of that and
Exactly.
everything like that. So, Graham, you do have a point that it can limit us, but I believe, Graham and David, when we accept those parameters that's been given to us, whether it be that environment, whether it be that connection or that friend, that relationship, or whatever that might be, and I learned this from Brian, we can set that agreement amongst ourselves and agree that these are the things that we want to share and be a part of. That's already there. Now it's up to you to choose that. But if you don't choose that, then that comes from you and you alone, not from me or from James or Nida or anyone else. We just allow that to be coming from where you sit in the way you view the world. Because it's not my job to put my reality onto someone else's reality, thinking that that's their reality when in fact it's not. It's my perception thereof. And I'll be doing someone else a disservice by doing that, number one. But also, I'll be doing a disservice to myself because I'm projecting out onto somebody that I shouldn't be projecting out on. What's your thoughts on Ida?
With you in the sense that um the sense that um what's the word?
time, Ida.
like to hear. I understand, and you like I like the part that you mentioned. You know, when we come to somebody, want them not to lie to you, and by that is loyalty. When we want somebody, we want loyalty from them. That's something that we expect uh, from all people. I sincerely like the fact it's something that we all want us. It sometimes, you know, and it's that we must face, and, and um, it might hurt us as an individual. I feel like, you know, having the perspective, they did not treat us as well as the fact that they make mistakes. We should give them the respect that.
Absolutely, that's well said, Ornata, and
100%.
yeah, yes, I truly get that. But also, it really begs the question, and like I said to you on the phone, Ornata, when I was talking to you, maybe it's also about this. Maybe we have done this in this dynamic for far too long. We always ask each other, "What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do?" And we really don't ask not only of ourselves but of each other. It's like, "Who are you?" Because when we get to the place that we are working with others and we are expecting them to do said job function or work or deadline or whatever that might be, we really don't know what's going on in their world because we're expecting them to do said work and saying, this is what you should do. Yeah, that's all well and good. But we really don't know why are you there doing that particular thing, because does it does it really create that value dynamic for you? Is it something you really love? Is it something that you really know what needs to be done? And then some people, and I used to be this way for many, many years when I was really young. I knew that I was trading time for money. And when I was going into these places to work and get said work done or deadline met or whatever I had to do, I only was so concerned about myself to such an extent I didn't care what anyone else was doing or what they were asking me to do not for them, because it was only relegated to me. And see, I had to get out of my own way to recognize what I do, whether to be at work, whether it be in life itself, has a huge effect on others in whatever way, shape, or form that might come up to them. It can come up to them when that if they see me doing something that, again, like what David was talking with Graham, what he brought up uh, about the right and wrong dynamic. If they perceive what I'm doing is wrong, what are they going to end up doing? They're going to call me out and say, "Hey, Chris, you're doing this all wrong." And I think what we really should be realizing that what we have done to ourselves is conditioned ourselves to such the nth degree that we are actually putting that right and wrong dynamic. It is truly like a domino effect, James. Absolutely. But what we have done is we have literally told others what the right way is and the wrong way is not to do things for far too long. It's like I share with people every day. I don't care how you start the race. I really don't. I don't even care how you finish the race. I really don't. What I care about the most is, number one, what did you learn along the way? What did you actually learn from the others and maybe from yourself on that journey? What value did you bring to the table? Not only do you're able to give out, but also you're able to receive. And also, what did you actually do to uplift in, maybe through the simple acts that you do, change someone's life? And I believe that matters. And sometimes it is those smallest things that gets us the biggest impact and results in our lives if we allow that to occur. Uh, and yes, James, how far are you stretching the envelope? You're absolutely right. How far are you willing to stretch? How far are you willing to go? And so the next dynamic of what Richard Branson was talking about in his newsletter is don't be afraid to challenge each other. Now, Oneida, how do you work in that kind of dynamic? If people challenge you, how do you approach it when people are challenging you or what you perceive as a challenge? How do you view that and take that on? How does that show up to you?
Um, I must recognize that in front of me, it was something that I was very, especially things that we are not familiar with. It becomes to be able to handle it. My career, and I'm really more like more clearly to the point that the challenge is actually a gift, and to be able to like learn from it, and not even able to like come for like a Big Ten, but be able to like to know it's something rewarding is as a process. It's, you don't care about the beginnings. It's like what you learn from it, what made you be who you are, and and, and that's what important in the entire situation. And all of this, like, what did you see?
That's powerful, Arnada. That truly is. So, James, what say you?
Yes.
Well, first of all, I'm going to read something that I was just going to type into the group. And it says, if you break the mold too much, the mold will no longer be available for you to work with. And if
Say
that mold is, what?
say that again.
Okay.
Please.
If you, okay, this is what I was, just to keep you up to date, Unida. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yeah, on this count. It's good.
Okay. So basically what I'm doing is I'm reading something that I was going to type into the group, and it goes, if you break the mold too much, the mold will no longer be available for you to work with, because the mold of human life is like the mold of a tree, the mold of water. You know, if you break it, it's no longer there. But if you break it too much, then you have nothing to work with.
Yes.
You know, so it's like stretching the envelope. If you stretch the envelope too much, the envelope is going to rip. And if that rips, you've got to reglue it. If you've got to reglue it and reglue it and reglue it, then you have to get a new one. But what happens when you run out of a package of envelopes because you've stretched them too much? What happens then? What happens then? That is the question.
And that's a powerful one at that, James, when you think about it, because if we stretch ourselves to the extreme, are we actually doing a huge service to ourselves or actually a huge disservice to ourselves? And that's the thing that we have to recognize, and that's where the awareness comes in,
Mm-hmm.
understanding,
Yeah.
and really recognizing if we do get stretched too thin, it's just like what Carla says on many of these broadcasts. Burnout is real. It's there.
Yep.
But how do we show up with that burnout? Do we let it overtake our lives? Or do we say, hey, maybe there's another way that I can work? Maybe there's another way I can lead. Maybe I don't have to stretch myself so thin, it's almost like I don't see the forest before the trees.
Yep.
Because when we get so caught up in the minutia of work or collaborations or relationships, and we don't really take stock of not only what we're bringing to the table, but what they also bringing to the table. And let's say, what if they're stretched thin? What do we do then? And everything. But for me, when I look at about don't be afraid to challenge others, the way I do that is I just say in a soft tone, say, hey, do you realize you might be doing this in a wrong way? Or how does this look and work like to you? How would you like to get this done? I put it in those kind of open ended kind of questions because I really don't know what's going on in their mind. I really don't. I can't assume because uh, you know what, if you end up putting that phrase into play, you don't want to end up making that out to be, you know what. But that is why it's always good to really keep an engaging conversation going from a place of openness, willingness, letting things sink in. Because if that's what works good for them, that's the best way that they know how to work. And yes, I truly believe that a structure is good and to have, and it kind of molds us into where we want to go. But see, to me, this is a living and breathing structure that's in place. It's ever thriving and growing and expanding and contraction on a daily basis. It's almost like your lungs. If you squeeze your lungs so hard, what would they not do? They won't work.
They won't expand.
And then they won't expand. But that's the same thing when we come to a lot of the things that we do in our lives, whether it be work related or not, and just in literally in life itself. When we think that we have that said control over somebody or with somebody, or whatever that may look like to you, when we think that we are in control, literally in and of itself, we're not in control at all. And that's why I truly believe when we want to hold others accountable for what they say and do and what they are held to account in, maybe we just need to recognize they're doing just as much as we are, if not more so, or they might just be getting by just as much as we are. Because we just, like I said, we really don't know what's going on at home, might be affecting them at work. Maybe they just got in a car accident on their way. We really don't know. And when we really take that into consideration of not only how we build those relationships, but also how build those know, like, and trust kind of dynamics, even at work and literally in every aspect of our lives, maybe when those partnerships and collaborations do form, and you're right, James, it is like repaving a road. Sometimes scratching the surface needs to be done, but repaving it from the dirt up is the only way to go. And you're absolutely right. Sometimes there is an opportunity to, let's say, hey, maybe we have to start over on this. And I get that. But I'm of the kind of mindset that if you take for what's already there, maybe you don't have to scrap the whole entire thing to get it done. Maybe you just have to say, maybe this thing didn't work, but we can tweak it just a little bit and kind of move it 1 degree. Maybe it gets us to where we need to go. Ornada, what's your thoughts?
Um, there's like a um I'm not trying to be religious verse in the Bible. Like uh, uh person uh, uh who changes, right, gets molded as a new, it becomes new, right? For example, like he said, like as a broken person, um it's new, renewed, it's changed, it's for purpose, it's given new purpose. um and by the fact that, like as individuals, we be able to, you know something that will, that, like it's challenging for us, even for other things, uh, and I think that to learn from the hardships that we encounter and learn from them, and able to like provide a new perspective, one amazing thing.
I, that is powerful yet again, Oneida. That really is. And I just truly believe that we can really just do so much good, not only in our workplaces today, but literally in our very communities. It's all there. It's about recognizing. It's just like it's what John C. Maxwell says in his great book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. It's not a title, it's not a rank, it's not a position, it's influence. It's how we show up to that influence that matters. And yes, James, you're absolutely right. Sometimes people need to hear that there is another way around the brick wall if we allowed the brick wall to stand in our way, and how do we move forward? Well, it's just like for me, James, for years and years and years, I always thought like if the problem is like right in front of my face, it's
Mhm.
always going to be that problem. But if I can take it from here and set it aside, it's no longer a problem. And I believe
Exactly.
it's the viewpoint and state of being that we have to really get ourselves back into alignment in, because there might be that misalignment that we might be saying, hey, that problem is here, but that alignment is somewhere else. So how do we get those things
Yep.
aligned together?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good point. You know, sometimes, you know, I don't know if you've ever run into this situation in your life, but sometimes when you're faced with an opportunity, whether that opportunity is for the best or not, how how do you present that opportunity to another person in a way that's going to allow them to be themselves to you?
Your thoughts on Ida?
I agree with James in the statement that he said, uh, to be able to understand communities that might come in a long way, in the sense that we, by being shaped.
Absolutely. Totally just, you're hitting it, Oneida. You're just very good. That is very, very, very exciting to hear. But also, I want to close off this, not close off, but I want to cap off this great and engaging conversation with this great video from Derek Sievers. And we have shared this on many calls here at Bringing Humanity Together. And this is going to add value to each and every single one of you, I truly believe, especially when we are wanting to have those deep and meaningful relationships in conversations with one another, because we are wanting to do that. Again, like I said, I just truly believe is how can we forge deeper partnerships or relationships and collaboration. And again, this is Richard Branson's newsletter. Please go check it out and uh, give us your thoughts on it. But here is Derek Sievers, and he brings up so much to this conversation today, and I truly believe in it. So here is Derek Sievers in his take on how to start a movement.
So ladies and gentlemen, at TED we talk a lot about leadership and how to make a movement. So let's watch a movement happen, start to finish, in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons from it. First, of course you know, a leader needs the guts to stand out and be ridiculed. But what he's doing is so easy to follow. So here's his first follower with a crucial role. He's going to show everyone else how to follow. Now notice that the leader embraces him as an equal. So now it's not about the leader anymore, it's about them, plural. Now there he is calling to his friends. Now if you notice that the first follower is actually an underestimated form of leadership in itself. It takes guts to stand out like that. The first follower is what transforms a lone nut into a leader. And here comes a second follower. Now it's not a lone nut, it's not two nuts, 3 is a crowd, and a crowd is news. So a movement must be public. It's important to show not just the leader, but followers, because you find that new followers emulate the followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, and immediately after, 3 more people. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point. Now we've got a movement. So notice that as more people join in, it's less risky. So those that were sitting on the fence before now have no reason not to. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, but they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. So over the next minute, you'll see all of the crowds will be ridiculed for not joining in. And that's how you make a movement. Let's recap some lessons from this. So first, if you are the type, the shirtless dancing guy, that is standing alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals. So it's clearly the movement, not you. Okay, but we might have missed the real lesson here. The biggest lesson, if you noticed, did you catch it? Is that leadership is over-glorified. That yes, it was the shirtless guy was first, and he'll get all the credit, but it was really the first that transformed the lone nut into a leader. So as we're told that we should all be leaders, that would be really ineffective. If you really care about starting a movement, have the courage to follow and show others how to follow. And when you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first one to stand up and join in. And what a perfect place to do that, TED. Thanks.
So, James, what do you think about that?
I think this much. To allow yourself to stand out in the crowd and not be afraid to either make a fool of yourself or, have fun while you're doing something, and allow others to engage in a way that's going to allow them to be themselves to you and vice versa, then in reality, you're basically slamming the book shut on an opportunity to be who you are, be what you want to be all that you can be. Don't be afraid to shoot the arrow higher than you thought you could go. Because if you don't shoot that arrow sky high, then how are you going to know where it's going? How are you going to know where your life is going if you're not shooting arrows one after the other, after the other, after the other, and one's going higher than the next, and you're shooting towards the stars, and you're not afraid to miss a target. You're not afraid to, shine and allow others to shine with you. You're just slamming the book shut and saying, you know what? My IQ level is 100, whereas my IQ level should be 0.
And what does IQ level stand for us here at Bringing Humanity Together?
I quit. That's the I quit level.
And that I quit level should be at 0.
Yep.
So, Oneida, I have to go to you. What did you think about that video from Derek Sievers?
The first thing that I saw, and I thought that it was very overall thing about it pushing somebody else to do it. If you see that somebody has talent something, like don't be the type of guy that doesn't believe on them, or like do not like push them. I feel like many aspects in life when people try to do it's afraid of taking a new challenge in their life, the failure. It's about being kind to as a person, right, or fellow, to be able to put final outcome. And some people say go with the choice.
Alrighty, we greatly appreciate you, Oneida, and I apologize for all the Wi-Fi issues that you're having there and everything like that. But I'm glad that you're here with us because you're sharing some great wealth of knowledge and value, and I'm just so thankful and honored that you are here with us today. And what comes up for me when I share that video, of course, James, I gotta always get the last word in. Yes, is the bottle half empty or half full? Yeah, it's the way you view it. Is that bottle half empty or is it half full? I always am the optimist kind of guy. I say it's always half full. I'm never the pessimist. Or again, I look at life. That life is happening to me, so I'm going to look at that. Hey, that's only half empty. And I believe when we get into that mindset and that state of being, that we look at things in a different way, it's going to not only shape the way we meet people and work with people, but it's also going to shape the way we can connect and move forward together. And like I said, when it comes to that video from Derek Sievers, I just truly believe there's so much there that we can aspire to be and to achieve in every aspect of our lives. Just like he said, there's leadership there, there's followership there, there's connectiveness there, there's community, there's so much that's there that simply can be understood from a place of human connection, and it's all there. So, James, I will go to you for our final thoughts and our call to action. What's your final thoughts and your call to action today, sir?
My final thoughts and call to action are always allow yourself to present others. Let me rephrase that. Allow yourself to present yourself to others as who you are. And don't be afraid to reshape the mold and be a person who is going to help others, who is going to help them build big, build strong, move forward, and is going to allow them to be themselves around you, and
Yes,
vice versa.
exactly. So, Anita, I'll go to you. What's your final thoughts and your call to action?
I guess that vision is to never be what you're looking for in life, since that life is so short, and that do the things that we want to do, and the more that we think about it, the and instead of looking, you have to look for the opportunities to evolve as in.
Yes, life is too short, Anita. You're absolutely spot on with that. Life is too short.
100%.
It is. But also life is precious in and of itself. When
Exactly.
we actually see life before us in a way that it really can move us forward and can help us see that's all that is there for us to not only to receive but also to give to the world, we have everything that we want or need. And it comes to the mindset of two things. If you want to live in a mindset of scarcity, then you will go down that road that you are always thinking, again, life is happening to me, not for me. But if you live in
Exactly.
a mindset of abundance, then you are knowing that life is happening for me, and you are wanting to move forward from that place that, again, everything is there for you. It's like I share with people every day. Life is the greatest giver around, but also the greatest hitter around. And it's not about how hard you get hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. So when it comes to about uh, really forging deeper partnerships, relationships, and collaborations, this is why final thoughts and call to action. Just let things be for what they are. Take people
Man.
to this place about, maybe, like I said, create that environment with them in such a way that it can create that life that they love that might turn into the life that they love. Because if you can collaborate with them on that simple things that we hold dear to our lives, that we all want to be seen, we all want to be loved, we all want to be appreciated, those are things that are innate to us. But like I said, when we meet people where they are and take them for who they are and build a bridge to them and with them in such a way, not only does it work in their world, but works in ours. I truly believe the next thing that comes to pass is the very definition of change, which is transformation. And that is something that everyone can have a hand in, and not only to give out to the world, but also it's going to come back to us and we will receive it. It's like I share with people every day, the very act of giving is in the very act of receiving. It is there. So I believe when we want to really truly have those deep and meaningful partnerships and collaborations and relationship, you just have to start it from taking that first step, plant that seed into their minds and into their hearts, and make it about them and not about you. Because when you start making it about you, you really are not going to connect with them on a deep and meaningful human level. Because when we always are so selfish for ourselves, do we really take time to take care of others? Because we're only so focused on ourselves. And this is what I will say on closing this call, and I truly believe in it. What I truly believe is I want to be so selfish for others so I can become more unselfish for myself. Because if I can do that in a great, healthy, and human connective way, that I help others, help them build their field of dreams, they will in turn help build mine. It's just that simple. And like I said, I want to be so selfish for others that I can become more unselfish for myself. Because the more I put that selfishness onto me, it's always going to be about me. But when I really open myself up to others and make it about others, it's totally a different paradigm and a way of being. And it's really going to change your life. And it has for me. It really has. So, James or Nida, thank you so much for joining us today here on Cherry Cara BHT. Looking forward to having more meaningful and deep and engaging conversation with both of you very soon. And again, everyone, if you'd like to know more about bringing humanity together, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or to James or to Arnida, and we would love to have that great and engaging conversation with you. And we really want to have that with you because we truly are dead set on creating environments that people will love that might even turn into the life that they love if we allow that environment to occur. So, from all of us here at Bringing Humanity Together, have a great day, make it your day, and we'll see everyone tomorrow on Conversation for Humanity, and we'll see everybody at 2:45 tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, James. Thank you, Oneida.
Yep. Thank you.